Hello there! Welcome to the fire. You look a bit tense. Why don't you relax here? I got a story about a player who took playing a paranoid character perhaps a bit too far. When the DM lets a single player ruin the game for laughs. r/RPG horror stories posted by Abram Boozler. This happened the beginning of this year before the lockdown. I was invited by a family member to join a new Battletech RPG game. I haven't played any tabletop games in a decade or more, so I was a little hesitant, but he said it was a new game system to everyone and everyone was pretty laid back. So I go, and the first session is making our characters, backstories, call signs, skills, traits, and etc. We're a platoon of mercenaries hired to protect a planet, and one of the players is role-playing a paranoid lieutenant who doesn't trust anyone or anything at all. He said he was going to play aggressively paranoid, and the DM okays it as long as he can justify it. Second session, it's time to pick our mechs. The setup is the company has X amount of C-bills and we can divide it up among us and see fit to each buy a mech from a local supply chain. So, we all decide to go shopping to see what's for sale. It's me, the paranoid lieutenant, and a few others. We get to the supply depot and the salesman tells us to have a look around. DM gives us a brief view of what mechs we can see in the first hangar. A hunchback, a catapult variant, a locust, and a blood asp. I tell the group I'm going to walk across the room and look at the hunchback. Objection! Our paranoid lieutenant declares he's rolling a perception check to see if I actually tell them that. Passes. Objection! Perception check to see if I actually walk across the room. Fails. I now have to describe I'm briskly strolling. Objection! Perception check to see if I actually briskly stroll across the room. And on and on. DM, my family member who invited me to play, is laughing his ass off. He thinks it's the funniest version of a paranoid player he's ever seen. I ask, can't he just make a perception check on the entire action, not each individual word, and the lieutenant player, chuckling, says no. The character is too paranoid and doesn't trust any word we say, meaning every word has to be checked individually. DM thinks it's incredible, says he doesn't want to stomp on a good roleplay. For 3 hours, the lieutenant objects and perception checks everything every player and NPC does in shopping for mechs. He's laughing at how absurd he can get in his checks, and the DM loves it because of how rare it is to find someone who actually roleplays correctly. There are 8 of us at this table, and we're not kids. The youngest of us is 26, not including the DM. We buy 4 mechs in 3 hours. By the time third session comes around, there are 3 players left. There is no 4th session. TLDR, I suspect the DM and a player conspired to troll an entire group of players just for laughs and shut down the game. This is why I haven't played tabletop in a decade. Whew, yeah, that sucks, OP. Especially since it seems that players' actions ended up being problematic to the enjoyment of the table as a whole. It's a shame that the DM couldn't see it. And then, reading some of the replies that OP posted up, it looks like the problem player and DM were indeed in on this together to troll a group of new players. And if that's true, that's definitely a jerk move. Seriously, who does that? I'm sorry that incident ended up souring the hobby for you, OP. Not all games are like that. And that's our story. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more future content. Also, if you would kindly follow the socials posted in the description, that would be amazing. As always, be good, be great, be awesome.